There comes a time in life when solitude feels less like loneliness and more like freedom. As an older person, you may start recognizing signs that living alone could bring you more joy, peace, and contentment than the hustle and bustle of a shared home. Perhaps you've been questioning whether it's time to embark on this path. From countless conversations and shared experiences online, it's evident that many older adults are drawn to the idea of living alone. If you've been considering it, these signs might help you decide if it's truly time to embrace the beauty of solo living. 1. You value peace and quiet more than ever. One of the most common reasons people choose to live alone is their increasing need for peace. As we age, the noise and constant movement of others can feel overwhelming. You may have raised children, been part of a busy household, and now find yourself yearning for tranquility. Margaret, a woman in her early 60s, shared her story. I love my grandchildren, but the constant noise and energy in the house were draining me. When they left, I was relieved to have my space back. That's when I knew I needed to live alone permanently. If you find yourself appreciating moments of stillness and feeling a sense of relief when the house is empty, this might be your sign. Living alone allows you to cultivate a peaceful environment filled with calm, nurturing your spirit. 2. You enjoy your own company. As you grow older, you may find that your own company is more than enough. Perhaps you've developed hobbies, a love for reading, or simply enjoy reflecting on your day in peace. This is a powerful sign that living alone could suit you perfectly. A 70-year-old man shared his newfound love for gardening. When I'm out in my garden, it's just me and the earth. I don't need anyone to talk to. I find peace in the quiet rhythm of my day. It was during one of those peaceful mornings I realized I don't need a roommate or family around constantly to feel fulfilled. Learning to appreciate your own company can be deeply empowering. Living alone gives you the space to honor that solitude in whatever way you choose. 3. You have strong boundaries and prioritize your well-being. As we age, we often develop stronger boundaries and a clearer understanding of what we need to thrive. If you're no longer willing to sacrifice your comfort or well-being for others, it might be time to consider living alone. Take Liz's story, for example. She shared, "Sharing my space with my adult daughter and grandchildren began to feel like an infringement on my emotional and mental well-being. I loved them dearly, but they were constantly crossing boundaries, leaving the house messy, making noise late at night, and I was starting to lose my sense of peace. I realized it was time to prioritize my own needs." Living alone allows you to create a sanctuary where your boundaries are respected and your well-being takes center stage. 4. You're ready for more control over your space and time. As we age, the desire for control over our environment and schedule often becomes more pronounced. Maybe you've been sharing a home with family or a roommate, and while you love them, you're ready to fully dictate the flow of your day. Living alone gives you the ultimate say in how your space looks and how you spend your time. A commenter on a forum shared, "I was 65 when I realized I was tired of compromising on everything. What time we had dinner, how clean the house should be, what shows we watched. I love my family, but I wanted to live on my own terms. Living alone gave me that freedom." When you live alone, you get to decide everything. From the smallest details like when you wake up or what music to play, to bigger choices like how to decorate your space or when to have guests over. 5. You've outgrown the need to care for others. Full-time, as a caregiver, whether for children, a spouse, or aging parents, you may have spent decades putting others first. But at some point, you may feel it's time to focus on yourself. A woman on Reddit shared her story. After my husband passed, I realized I didn't want to take on the role of caretaker for anyone else. I love my family, but I was ready to focus on my own needs and desires. It's liberating to finally put myself first. Living alone provides the time and space to rediscover yourself after years of caring for others. 6. You want to age on your own terms. Aging alone doesn't mean you'll be isolated. It means you'll have the freedom to make choices that suit your lifestyle and preferences. Many older people find they want to age on their own terms, in their own space, without the constant presence of others. One man left a poignant comment on a forum. "I want to decide when and how I ask for help. I don't want my children or anyone hovering over me all the time. I'm capable of making decisions for myself, and living alone allows me to maintain that independence." If you value autonomy and want to make decisions about your life without outside interference, living alone can give you that control. It allows you to set up your home to meet your needs and ensure that when you do need support, you can choose when and how to get it. You're ready for a fresh start. Living alone as an older person can represent a fresh chapter, a chance to reinvent yourself, free from the expectations or routines you may have followed for years. If you feel it's time to start anew, living alone can provide you the space and freedom to do just that. One man, aged 67, shared his thoughts in an online forum. "I'd been living in the same house for over 30 years. After my wife passed, I realized that staying in the same place with the same routines wasn't what I wanted. I downsized to a small apartment, started taking art classes, and living alone gave me the fresh start I needed." It's never too late to begin a new chapter. Living alone offers the perfect opportunity to explore your interests, try new things, and create the life you truly want. 8. You're craving minimalism and simplicity. As we get older, the desire to simplify life often becomes stronger. You may find yourself overwhelmed by the clutter or busyness of your current living situation. If downsizing and living more simply could bring you peace, this might be a clear sign that living alone is the right choice. A powerful story I read was about a woman in her 70s who decided to embrace minimalism. "I realized that I was holding on to so many things that no longer served me: old furniture, memorabilia, even relationships that drained me. Once I moved into my own space, I embraced a simpler way of life. Fewer possessions, fewer obligations, and more time to focus on what truly matters." If the idea of letting go of excess and creating a simpler, more manageable life appeals to you, living alone can give you the opportunity to declutter, not just your space, but your mind as well. 9. You want to make your own decisions without compromise. As an older adult, you may have spent much of your life compromising with others, whether it was with a partner, children, or a roommate. If you find that you're no longer willing to negotiate every decision and long for a life where you can choose what's best for yourself, this is a strong sign that living alone might be the right choice. One woman shared her story about finally finding the freedom to live life on her own terms. "I always had to consider other people's preferences, from what we ate for dinner to where we went on vacation. Now, I live alone, and I get to choose everything, from the color of my walls to the music I listen to. It's liberating to make decisions based solely on my own desires. Living alone allows you to reclaim the power to make decisions that truly align with your personal preferences. without the need to compromise with others. This autonomy can be incredibly fulfilling. 10. You're ready for emotional independence. Emotional independence is a powerful sign that living alone may be the right step for you. As you age, you might find that you no longer need the emotional crutch of constant companionship. Instead, you've developed the resilience and self-awareness to navigate your emotions on your own, without relying on others for validation or support. A commenter in a forum shared this perspective. For years, I always felt like I needed someone around me, whether it was my children or a partner, to feel emotionally stable. But over time, I learned to find that strength within myself. Living alone now is a joy because I trust in my own emotional resilience. I can process my feelings, find peace, and no longer need someone else's presence to feel okay. If you find that your emotional well-being is no longer dependent on others and you feel confident in managing your emotions independently, living alone can offer you the space to continue growing emotionally and thriving on your own terms. 11. You want to focus on your personal growth and self-discovery. For many older people, living alone creates the perfect environment for personal growth and self-discovery. After spending years in roles such as parent, spouse, or caregiver, you might feel ready to explore who you are outside of those identities. Living alone allows you to focus on yourself without distractions, giving you the time and mental space to pursue new interests, rediscover old passions, or simply reflect on the next chapter of your life. A woman in her late 60s shared this on a forum. I spent so much of my life focused on others that I forgot what made me happy. Once I started living alone, I picked up painting again, and it felt like I was reconnecting with a part of myself that had been buried for years. Living alone gave me the freedom to explore that side of me without worrying about anyone else's needs. Living alone provides the opportunity to dive into self-discovery and personal growth in ways that may not have been possible when balancing multiple roles. It's a time to nurture yourself and create a life that feels authentic to you. 12. You're ready to create your own routine and embrace flexibility. As you get older, having a routine that suits your personal preferences may become more important. Living with others often requires flexibility to accommodate their schedules, but living alone gives you the freedom to create a routine that aligns entirely with your energy levels and desires. Whether you want to wake up early for a morning walk or stay up late indulging in a good book, living alone allows you to shape your days as you see fit. A man in his early 70s shared his joy after moving into his own place. I used to feel pressured to keep up with my family's schedule, meals at certain times, socializing when I didn't feel like it. Now that I live alone, I eat when I want, exercise when it feels good, and sleep when I'm tired. It's refreshing to have a routine that's entirely my own. If you find joy in setting your own pace and adapting your days to your needs, living alone offers you the flexibility to design a life that works perfectly for you, with no need to adhere to anyone else's schedule. 13. You're craving the freedom to prioritize your happiness. Living alone isn't about isolating yourself. It's about reclaiming your space, your peace, and your independence. It's about prioritizing your happiness and creating an environment that fosters joy and contentment. Many older adults have shared how living alone has been transformative for their well-being. They describe the freedom to focus on themselves, their passions, and their dreams. If you resonate with the signs mentioned above, whether it's valuing quiet, enjoying your own company, or longing for autonomy, living alone could be the fresh start you need at this stage in life. 14. You appreciate simplicity and minimalism in everyday life. As we age, the idea of simplifying our lives can become more appealing. Living alone offers the opportunity to embrace minimalism, not just in terms of physical belongings, but also in lifestyle choices. With fewer possessions and fewer commitments, you can focus on what truly matters. One woman shared her journey of simplifying her life. I realized I was holding on to so many things, furniture, clothes, even relationships, that no longer served me. When I moved into my own space, I made a conscious effort to keep only what brought me peace and joy. I found a sense of freedom in having less to manage and more room to breathe. Living alone provides the chance to create a home that reflects your values, whether that's through decluttering your space or letting go of habits and relationships that don't align with your goals. 15. You're ready to celebrate your own independence. Living alone isn't about separating yourself from the world. It's about embracing your individuality and independence. It's a chance to create a life where your choices, interests, and happiness come first. For many older adults, this shift in perspective feels empowering. It allows you to reconnect with yourself and rediscover parts of your identity that may have taken a back seat during years of caregiving, partnership, or shared living. One man reflected on his decision to live alone. After spending decades compromising and adapting to others' needs, I decided it was time to prioritize myself. Living alone gave me the opportunity to rediscover what I love, from painting to late-night music sessions. I finally feel like I'm living life on my own terms. By celebrating your independence, you can focus on creating a fulfilling life that honors your needs, passions, and dreams. 16. You want to rediscover yourself. After years of caregiving. After spending much of your life in roles like parent, partner, or caregiver, living alone can provide the perfect space for self-reflection and rediscovery. It's a chance to explore your interests, passions, and dreams without external pressures. A woman in her late 60s shared her journey. I'd spent so much of my life taking care of others, my children, my husband, and even my aging parents. When I finally moved into my own space, it felt like I was reconnecting with the person I used to be before all the responsibilities. I started journaling, painting, and even joined a book club. It was like finding a lost part of myself. Living alone doesn't mean disconnecting from others. It means reconnecting with yourself. It's an opportunity to rediscover what makes you happy and to build a life centered on your personal goals and desires. 17. You're craving autonomy over your daily decisions. When you live with others, even small decisions, what to eat, what music to play, or how to spend your weekend, often require compromise. Living alone gives you complete autonomy to make choices that align with your preferences without needing to negotiate with others. A man in his early 70s reflected on this newfound freedom. For years, I had to adjust to the needs and schedules of my family. After moving into my own space, I realized how liberating it was to make my own decisions. I wake up when I want, decorate how I like, and spend my evenings exactly the way I choose. If you're yearning for the freedom to make decisions independently, living alone can be the ultimate way to embrace this autonomy and build a lifestyle that reflects your true self. 16. You want to rediscover yourself. After years of caregiving, after spending much of your life in roles like parent, partner, or caregiver, living alone can provide the perfect space for self-reflection and rediscovery. It's a chance to explore your interests, passions, and dreams without external pressures. A woman in her late 60s shared her journey. I'd spent so much of my life taking care of others, my children, my husband, and even my aging parents. When I finally moved into my own space, it felt like I was reconnecting with the person I used to be before all the responsibilities. I started journaling, painting, and even joined a book club. It was like finding a lost part of myself. Living alone doesn't mean disconnecting from others. It means reconnecting with yourself. It's an opportunity to rediscover what makes you happy and to build a life centered on your personal goals and desires. 17. You're craving autonomy over your daily decisions. When you live with others, even small decisions, what to eat, what music to play, or how to spend your weekend, often require compromise. Living alone gives you complete autonomy to make choices that align with your preferences without needing to negotiate with others. A man in his early 70s reflected on this newfound freedom. For years, I had to adjust to the needs and schedules of my family. After moving into my own space, I realized how liberating it was to make my own decisions. I wake up when I want, decorate how I like, and spend my evenings exactly the way I choose. If you're yearning for the freedom to make decisions independently, living alone can be the ultimate way to embrace this autonomy and build a lifestyle that reflects your true self. 18. You're ready to fully embrace this new chapter. Living alone isn't about isolating yourself. It's about reclaiming your time, space, and peace. It's about recognizing that this stage of life is yours to define. Many older adults who have chosen to live alone describe it as a journey of self-discovery, empowerment, and renewal. If you resonate with the signs shared in this script, craving peace, valuing your independence, or yearning for personal growth, then perhaps it's time to take this step. Living alone allows you to focus on your happiness, explore your passions, and build a life that aligns with your unique values. One woman, who made the transition in her mid-60s, reflected, "When I moved into my own space, I felt a sense of freedom I hadn't experienced in decades. It wasn't just about living alone. It was about creating a life where I felt at peace, where I could wake up each day excited to do the things I love. It was the best decision I've ever made." Final thoughts. Living alone as a path to fulfillment. Living alone doesn't mean giving up connections with family or friends. It means embracing the freedom to prioritize your needs, set your own boundaries, and live life on your terms. It's a chance to rediscover yourself, focus on personal growth, and enjoy the independence that comes with creating a life uniquely your own. So, if you've been considering this path, trust your instincts. Take the step toward building a life that reflects your values, passions, and dreams. Remember, it's never too late to start a new chapter. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story.